Hello, welcome back. I've got a new camera, or it's not a new camera, I'm using a camera this week rather than my phone, so hopefully the sound's okay, the picture's okay. You might be able to hear Wilbur walking around in the background. You might be able to see him too. Wilbur's decided it's tea time and he's sniffing around me. You might be able to hear him. Basically we've been sat drawing quiet for a couple of hours now. Wilbur went for a walk this morning. He's hitting the tripod with his tail. We went for a walk this morning. He's been nice and tired for the rest of the day. He's had his snack. I've been sat drawing, he's been sleeping, we've had some music on, and now I've started talking, so he's woken up and he wants his tea. Anyway, I thought it's not actually his tea time yet, so he can wait a minute. So this week I've been getting on with the drawing. Done a lot of that this week. I don't actually have much to update you on other than showing you a bit of the drawing, but I thought might be quite nice is to show you some old drawings I've done. But also before I do that I need to let you know that, so I updated my website this week a little bit. So previously I had very limited forms of payment method on there. So if you wanted to buy a print or a painting, there weren't many ways that you could pay for it, and that's just basic because I hadn't got around setting it up properly. Now it is set up properly, so if you do want to buy something off my website, then the link's in the description, and there's loads more payment methods now. And I try and put my prices as affordable as possible, but there's loads of photography prints in there, there's a couple of painting prints, and there's and some original paintings as well. But yeah, I thought today I'd just show you a couple of sketchbook drawings, and then I'll show you the progress with the big drawing that I'm doing, the medium drawing that I'm doing. I've not started the big one yet, and go from there really. And like I say, I hope this camera's alright. Hopefully Wilbur holds it together. We'll find out. So I try and use a different sketchbook for every medium, and I've got a sketchbook just for drawing. This is just for pencil drawings. It's a Pink Pig sketchbook. I love these sketchbooks, really good quality. You can get them in most art shops, and I really like the paper in them, lovely for sketching, even a bit of painting. I mostly use these ones for sketching. So I just want to show you a couple of them. So here we've got, that's just a little drawing of a sheep. That was a sketch that was part of a much bigger drawing, which I've actually got upstairs. It's a drawing of a load of Herdwick sheep in the Lake District, and Wilbur's still moving around. A load of Herdwick sheep in the Lake District, and I took a picture of them, we drew the picture, and I ended up just preferring the sketch to the bigger drawing. The bigger drawing, I wasn't massively happy with the way it came out. I rushed it a little bit. One day I might try and redraw it, but do it this size or a slightly different size rather than Wilbur. You're being a bit silly. Rather than the massive size that I originally drew it in. I caved in and I've given Wilbur his tea, so he's out of the room for a minute, but he will definitely run back in excited because he's had his tea. Anyway, the next drawing in the sketchbook is of, can you see that there? That's Ashton Memorial, which is in Lancaster, not far from where I live, and I did this sketch. Well, it's quite a nice building to draw. I do really like drawing buildings. It's very time consuming though, so I don't do it often, but it's a really nice building to draw. I've painted it a few times as well, and that's actually one of the first paintings I did in lockdown, and I've sold tons of prints of it. The original is still for sale on my website. If you want it, it is for sale. Not all of the sketches in here have become paintings or bigger drawings or bigger pieces. Sometimes I just do them for fun, or just to see what they look like. The next one, I can't remember if I've told you about this drawing before. I think I intended to, I might not have done. So this is one of the more detailed drawings in here. You can hear Wilbur coming back in now because he's had his tea, and he's licking his mouth because he's excited that he's had his tea. So here is, you gonna go and lie down? Right, so here is the drawing. This is Dent, in Yorkshire. I think it's in Yorkshire. Is it Cumbria? Cumbria, Yorkshire border maybe? I'll check that, but I think maybe it's Cumbria. Dents in Cumbria. I'm going to say Dents in Cumbria. It's a little village. See there? It's a really detailed drawing. And I really enjoyed doing the houses. But, so with this drawing, and this is why you draw with an easel, or you draw stood up, or you draw with your thing at least at a 90-degree angle to you in some form. Because you might notice that while the houses are all in perspective, the road is not. The road slopes down. And the road doesn't slope down in real life, the road is very much flat in real life. But because I drew this, sat with it at a weird angle in front of me, I drew it at a weird perspective, and then when I checked back, I realised, when I sat with it in front of me, I realised I'd drawn the cobblestones at the wrong angle, which is fine, no one's really going to see, well obviously you're seeing this, but no one's really going to see this other than anyone looking at my sketchbook, but it just annoyed me a little bit. Next drawing. This drawing took me ages. I started it and stopped it, and started it and stopped it, and then one day I just thought, right, get this finished. So this is the bridge in Barmouth in Wales. So it's a railway bridge that goes across the estuary in Wales, and I decided to draw in pretty fine detail this bridge, and I kept it as accurate as possible. And I do, like I say, I do really enjoy drawing architecture and buildings and stuff. And I did have a really good time drawing that, but I've said before, when I start drawing something I want to finish it, so I ended up drawing this for ages and ages and ages. And I had commissions and I had other stuff to draw, so this got put on hold. Again, you can see I've sort of, where I've changed angles when I've been drawing, the perspective is slightly off on some parts of it, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. But it's just like, that should be flat, and it's not, and it's because I've not drawn. If I'd have drawn with on an easel, that wouldn't have happened. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much to anyone else, just me. For now I'll show you the drawing of the papermaker's felts that we're currently working on. It doesn't look like much at the moment. It looks, it doesn't look like much. And this camera doesn't seem to be great at picking it up either, because I think it's because of the light and because of the graphite. This camera's struggling a bit, so I'll do my best to show you where it's at so far, and then I'll show you a bit of the progress throughout the week. This will look, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's looking as good on the camera as it does in real life. So you'll just have to believe me that I'm pretty happy with how it's going. So when I draw, I use no surprise, I use the Derwent pencils, which I use a lot of Derwent products, and use the pencils. I think these are the best pencils. I do really think these are the best drawing pencils. That is partly because these are the ones I've always drawn with. I've tried others. I prefer these. I know other people prefer other types of pencils. I prefer these pencils. I do have another type of pencil in my pencil case, and it's a Progresso, and these pencils are entirely made of graphite. So let's get that to show. That is it showing it? Is it just showing me? So these pencils are entirely made of graphite, rather than the Derwent pencils, which are wood with a graphite inside. These ones are all graphite, and these are very heavy. These are all Bs, so 6B, 8B, 4B and 2B. I've got these, and they are really good for the dark patches in the drawing. Are you gonna go and sit down, Wilbur? Wilbur is very involved in the process today. Basically because I'm talking and Wilbur doesn't know who I'm talking to. He thinks I'm talking to him. So he's coming over to check I'm alright. The Derwent pencils, wood with a graphite insert. These pencils entirely graphite. I use them for the darker areas. You can use the Derwent pencils for it as well. I just think having a bit of variety there isn't too bad. They go down on the paper a bit different. So the paper, they are a bit different on the surface of the paper as well. So over the last couple of weeks, I think since I've started doing these videos, I've had a couple of people, friends and colleagues, approach me and ask me if I'll talk to their kids about doing art as a subject, or about continuing with art into GCSEs and A-levels and degrees and stuff. And of course I'm more than happy to do that. And I thought if that's something people are interested in, then it might be worth me doing a couple of separate, I don't know, videos or talking about it in these videos, about things like, you know, getting into art and carrying it on beyond primary school. Obviously I'm more than happy to talk to people's kids about pursuing art and how to get into it. And I think, but one conversation I had more specifically this week was around a child being dyslexic, struggling a bit in school, struggling with struggling with STEM subjects, struggling with maths, English, etc., drawing, writing, and sort of feeling like education was it was all about those sorts of things rather than learning in different ways or being good at different things. I'm dyslexic, and mostly I struggle with sounds, like words, the sound of words, not just like sounds in general, the sound of words, and symbols. So I struggle to recognise the shape of words or symbols, or like I used to get B's and D's mixed up. Obviously I've got older, I've got better at it, but I just found it really interesting, and I thought it's something I'll do. Obviously I can't talk to their kids, but I thought maybe it'd be something that we could talk about a bit more on this channel, and maybe I could start doing some how-tos, and maybe it could be how to draw with your kids, maybe it could be drawing for kids. I don't know, I haven't thought about it properly yet, it's just an idea for now. But if you do have any thoughts on it, then please do comment. Would you find it useful if I did a couple of sessions on little drawing things you could do with your family, with your children, or if you are children, with your parents or by yourself, or just even for you, basically little drawing and painting tutorials. I'm not an art teacher by any means. I do know a very good art teacher, who we've talked about before, but maybe we could do a collaboration with him one day, who knows. Anyway, just a thought for now, and I'll keep thinking about it. Maybe I'll do it if there's something that you would find useful in a how-to, let me know what it is. Would it be how to mix paint? Would it be how to use pencils? Would it be knowing which pencils to use, which paper to use? Would it be how to start drawing, how to draw a face? I'm not the best at drawing faces, but I'll give it a go. Would it be how to draw buildings, for example? Maybe I'll just write these things down and start doing them, and if you watch them, then you watch them, great. But anyway, so that was that. And I just also wanted to just sort of say, you know, if you are interested in drawing and or art and you're a bit scared of it, just go for it, just do it. And also, not everyone has to be good at maths and English. It's good to have the GCSEs, but you don't have to be perfect at them. So yeah, I'll explore some how-tos and maybe start making them, see how they go. But yeah, do let me know if there's anything you want to see from them. I've got so from this week actually I'm gonna have Fridays just for art and art-based activities. Well, I'll obviously do other things as well, but art-based activities primarily on Fridays. So I'm gonna have hopefully a lot more time to get art stuff done from this week. So hopefully I'll be able to start sharing a bit more with you. Getting a bit more done as well is the priority. So but yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe, it helps loads. Do like, share, like, whatever, comment, whatever you can do. But if you can subscribe, that'd be amazing. It helps lots. And tell your friends. Thank you.